I just left the courtroom for the bond hearing for my son, at least for the third time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor, he wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice.
We want to begin now with some breaking news. Rapper Lil Durk.
The Durk court hearing today revealed his attempt to get out of jail early, and it's working. It was originally announced last week. On Tuesday, January 6th, the Chicago rapper's legal team filed a request for a status hearing regarding Durk being detained in a special housing unit without due process since August 29, 2025. Durk is confined to a very small jail cell, just large enough for a single bed, a toilet, and a sink for 23 hours a day. The filing reads, he does not have access to commissary. He is permitted one phone call a month and no in-person social visits. He was originally placed in SHU as punishment for being in possession of an Apple Watch. However, Durk's attorneys claim that the alleged infraction has still not been reviewed by the unit discipline committee to determine proper disciplinary action, which would normally happen within 5 working days. Even inmates from Durk's cell block called those close to Durk's case about it.
They got Lil Durk in a hole for basically some BS. And right now we're going to show the paperwork. They saying that he was caught with a cell phone, and basically that's not true. They trying to keep him in a hole, do a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing or whatever, but they trying to make a point because they saying that me and him is privileged and we got so many things going on, and it's a lot of BS.
However, at Durk's court hearing today, it was announced Durk is no longer being held in solitary confinement after 5 months. On Thursday, January 15th, DXL confirmed that the Chicago rapper is back in general population at the Los Angeles Detention Center after being in a special housing unit since August. This resulted in Durk's team writing on his IG story for him. Crazy how you gotta wait until it's dark out to see who really with you, as Durk feels alone. Even DJ Academics explain how all rappers left aside.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of the went on tour with, the songs with, called you they brother, they twin. I wouldn't be surprised if these rappers try to India. These are down low and dirty. And I think this is what, I think Durk right now is thinking that, man, I thought I was just with a whole bunch of real. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. And I feel bad for Durk. When King Slime got locked up, there was a whole parade. Free him! Free him! Free him! Oh, nah. Everybody would post details of the case. How is this humane? How could they do this? Yo, free... not smart. No, free Slime. Durk got locked up. They might give that half a bar. Free Smirk. And they moved the on. I'll give credit. I have heard some of these guys have sent lawyers. Good for that, but Smirk is in there, man, realizing the world don't stop spinning because you locked up.
Due to everyone leaving his side, Academics explain further on why Durk won't be the same rapper if he gets out of jail.
Let me tell y'all, the Durk y'all loved when he was free, if he gets back out again, he'll never be that Durk. I'm gonna tell you why. He done learned a lot of lessons. This is me assuming, nothing he's told me. But the things that he did for others, y'all know when he came on my podcast, right? And he said, man, your Gunna's a snitch. I can't Gunna. Man, that. I don't care. I love Thug. He said that because Thug told him. Yo, what Durk is realizing, Durk is a great soldier, but nobody looked at him like a leader. Durk was willing to move on behalf of the people he's loyal to when they get locked up. When he locked up, they might drop him as a bar in a song, But
Durk will never go back to jail for one specific reason, which is his jail situation. Because with him being locked in the special unit for over 4 months, he might be able to get house arrest. But to understand what his release date is, it's important to know what just happened to him inside court, because Durk's court hearings have started, and he wanted to go straight to the trial. The News wrote, Durk's co-defendants, D, Boogie, and Brown Eyes agreed with the government to push the trial back 5 months to May 4th. But Durk didn't agree and wants the trial to begin as scheduled on January 7th. The prosecutors were quick to respond to this with a message saying, Durk's trial. Prosecutors say they have several cooperating witnesses who will testify that he was the real organizer of the passings. As the prosecutors are basically saying they don't care when the trial starts because they have the snitches and witnesses to prove Durk was involved. Following this, the judge came back with his decision to delay the trial, with it announced, Durk's trial has been pushed back to the spring. The trial date for Durk and his co-defendants is now scheduled for May 4th for the pre-trial conference slated to happen on April 13th. But other changes are happening to Durk on the inside, because in the court hearing, people reported that he looked much thinner and he cut his dreads. But this same hearing had the judge announcing he denied motions to dismiss the case for vagueness. A motion for a bill of particulars was taken under advisement, and the motion to dismiss count 4 was taken under advisement. But a lawyer from the courtroom spoke on what this really means for Durk.
A criminal lawyer, and I just learned that the rap artist Lil Durk just had his motion to dismiss his for hire case denied. To be honest, I'm not that surprised. Let me tell you guys something. There's only two ways that Lil Durk is rocking out of that federal courtroom on 2 feet. A jury of 12 people says that he is not guilty, or President Trump pardons him. There's no other way that Durk is walking out of that court free. That judge is not going to be dismissing any key evidence. He's not going to be dismissing any motions. He's not going to do anything that significantly helps Lil Durk walk out of that courtroom without having a trial. Now, how and why am I so sure of this? Well, here's the first thing I want to tell you. Most federal judges used to be federal prosecutors, exact prosecutors that are prosecuting Durk. A lot of judges used to stand in that very position. Federal prosecutors can be very biased people, and very rarely, once they put on that black robe and become a judge, do they get rid of those biases, okay? That judge very likely probably thinks that Durk is guilty. He just can't be the one they actually say.
They're claiming there's no way that Durk gets the charges dropped before having to prove himself innocent in a trial, which had people in the media reacting to what's happening with Durk.
This is my last no jumper. Durk already told me I wasn't supposed to come back up here with that last.
Now look what happened to him.
That man got kids. You talking about look what happened to him.
Definitely not happy about him.
I wouldn't be happy if you go to jail, Adam, because I know you got daughter. Break down.
There's multiple people who are no longer there for their kids as a result of that Durk allegedly called in.
Until they put that on black and white, sir. Stop throwing stuff on a black man who's trying to do something right for the community right now.
The feds have already put out a lot of information about this.
You don't have to put it out. You don't have to put it out. So this is a major platform.
You're not the boss of me. We talk about rap on here. I think it is well within our jurisdiction to talk about the fact
that what type of police
has been alleged to have ordered them.
This
free smirk though.
Free smirk. But also maybe
police platform. This some police.
Just sit down for a little and decide, hey, maybe I'm not anybody else.
We don't have no proof that we don't.
But it's very interesting to see that Durk's lawyers have tried relentlessly to get him a bond, so he doesn't have to wait out the trial in jail. It was reported words from Durk's father have Durk being released on bond. With this being his third attempt, his lawyers made an offer so great the judge can't refuse it.
Just left the courtroom for the bond hearing for my son, for the release for the third time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor, he wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice. So he listened to all the evidence, and he's gonna give a ruling in the next few days about what his position is for the bond. But we were very pleased at how it turned out. So continue, family, friends and fans, continue to keep us in your prayers, and we thank you, and inshallah, God willing, this be victorious for us, that we have a good ruling in our favor.
However, one of the cooperating witnesses in the case is reportedly providing federal investigators with additional information. Prosecutors now allege that Durk ordered hits on other O Block members who refused to retaliate following King Von's death. According to court filings, the government plans to introduce testimony from a witness who claims Durk was the one giving the orders. The documents also reference an alleged feud between Durk and an individual known as Manna Duke, stemming from Durk's belief that certain people failed to properly retaliate for King Von's passing. These new claims have since sparked reactions from DJ Academics and WAC 100, both of whom have spoken out about the role of informants in the case.
Life by basically saying he's guilty of for hire, and the only thing that, like, yes, some of these some of these things look suspect. Why'd you go there? Why are these people going there? Why'd you send this message? But nothing. There's no message that they got that says where Durk says, y'all that Quando yet? Nothing says that.
I'm not. You missing the point.
Okay.
They got a witness already cooperating on that. Been had one. We just ain't seen what they said. It's 3 years. One of the cooperating.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So
that's co-conspirator too.
Yeah. I don't know. You don't need too much more than that. One of the is cooperating. Then in the paperwork, you got the conversation. They say they had it in and out. The other 2 was figuring out how they getting paid.
However, it was revealed in court that the credibility of the witness is now in question. Reports indicate that the witness may have been misleading federal investigators, raising the possibility that Durk could ultimately be found not guilty. Court documents show that the witness has changed their story, initially stating there was no bounty placed, only to later claim that there was. Many initially believed the informant was DD, but that has since been ruled out, as DD is not cooperating against Durk. At this point, D appears to be doing everything possible to distance himself from the case altogether.
And that's what DD did. He's basically saying all this evidence y'all got against Durk got nothing to do with me. Why you got me charged with Durk? And that doesn't mean he's going against Durk. That just means he wants his case severed. And I'm telling you, if it's severed, it helps Durk. Because one of the main connective tissue to this conspiracy is saying that Durk told DD to hire. DD's saying, I ain't get told to hire nobody. And I ain't hiring nobody. What are you talking about? Why would I hire someone? That's his.
Beyond the charges tied to hit that killed Lil P.A.B., prosecutors are also alleging that Durk was involved in a separate attempt on Quando Rondo at a gas station in Georgia. Authorities claim they have surveillance footage and witness testimony suggesting Durk was behind the incident. Court filings even reference lyrics from one of Durk's songs, quoting the line, "They on my page like, slide for Vaughn, I know they trolling me." In a later podcast appearance, Durk reportedly said, "For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more," which prosecutors argue is significant. They point out that the song was released before the hit on Lil P.A.B., while the podcast episode came out afterward around the same time. Fans have been urging Durk to slide for Vaughn. Prosecutors claim this shows Durk acknowledging that the calls for retaliation had stopped once the attack occurred. What's even more controversial is that authorities initially attempted to use different lyrics against Durk, including the line, "Told me they got an addy, they got the location. Go look on the news, see your son screaming." Prosecutors argue that the lyric mirrors how Quando allegedly reacted to the attack, a claim that has sparked intense debate over whether Durk's music is being unfairly used as evidence against him.
The search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles and cameras captured the aftermath.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
But Durk's lawyer did a public interview about the case and said the charges are a joke.
The case is as follows. So there was an indictment that did not name him, right? It named others, and then there was an unindicted person. And then 3 weeks later, that indictment was what's called the first superseding indictment, and it does name him. The indictment was identical, except the unnamed person now became Durk Banks. And this is the really important part, Ak. The second indictment, what's called the first superseding indictment, only had one new fact. It had one new fact, and that was it alleged that there was a video by Durk that celebrated and monetized this.
However, Durk's attorney later addressed the case in a public interview, dismissing the charges as completely baseless.
I'm gonna give you this. It's a back door, and I got all the pieces. That's all I'm gonna tell you. As Durk asked Vonnie, "Is it open?" Vonnie told him it's off the hinges.
Wait. Are you talking about the Vaughn? Like King Vaughn?
Listen very carefully. When the payment was made to Little Tim, the next day or the same day, Durk asked Vonnie, "Was it open?" This is what he asked him. Was it open? It was the exact words, "Was it open?" He told him it's off the hinges.
Are you saying that Vonnie backdoor King Von? No way. That was right here.
You heard what I just said. Guess what? You need motive first, right? I got bankers. I got bankers that'll testify that or will make a contract or make a statement to you and let you know that this is the amount of money he had, this is what he had, this is that another. You need motive first and foremost. I got text messages from the lawyer letting you know that who told on Durk before, who told on Von before he.
However, federal authorities are now receiving additional information from a new informant, as it was revealed that Vonnie is cooperating. Court records show that his file was updated to indicate he is no longer in the prison's custody, suggesting he has either been fully released or placed on house arrest. Surprisingly, Vonnie was texting a close friend about his plea deal options, but the messages were leaked, exposing that it agreed to cooperate. In the text, Vonnie wrote, "I'm trying to plea out to 32, which is a base for M for hire. The max is 43, which is life. I get -2 points for a plea, -1 for an early plea, and -2 for no prior record. That leaves me with 27 points, which is 5 to 7 years. I can't go to trial. I don't want them to do me like the other guys," likely referencing what happened to Jim, who reportedly disappeared after cooperating. In a surprising twist, Vonnie's father reportedly learned that his son was snitching and publicly implicated him in additional crimes. He claims Vonnie played a role in King Von's death and that Durk was aware of it.